And we are continuing to follow that breaking news this morning. A couple of semi-trucks colliding, causing a major backup on the interstate for several hours. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley has been near where it happened all morning long. I-65 up in Robertson County, and looks like finally traffic moving behind you. Cuthbert, it's been a long morning.
It has, Steve. It's been about 7 or so hours until traffic was able to start creeping by here in both lanes. The right lane was shut down from about 11:15 till 6:15 this morning. Let me step out and show you what's left to do here this morning. You can still see there are a couple of 18-wheelers in the way, but there is another semi there off the road, kind of slammed up into those trees back there. So what crews have been having to do this morning is take out the cargo the truck was carrying and then work to figure out how they can pull that truck out of that wooded area. You can see there's a big tow truck there on the side of the road that they obviously are going to use to pull out that semi. Here's a better look at the crash from earlier in the night. This happened around 11:20 last night. What we know is that an 18-wheeler slammed into another semi. The force of that crash forced that semi off the road into those trees over there. And the driver of that semi ended up having to be life flighted, taken by helicopter to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where he is in critical condition at this point. The driver of the other semi also had to be taken to an area hospital. And throughout the morning, it was quite the cleanup. You can see the mess there on the roads, pieces of the truck kind of thrown all about the lanes there. You can see the truck pretty much just smashed up into that line of trees there. So crews definitely had a lot of work to do. TDOT originally said the accident was going to be cleaned up around 4 a.m. It wasn't completely, the lanes were not reopened until 6:15. So there still is the wreck to clean up. But again, both lanes right around 65 southbound at mile marker 110 are reopened this morning. We're live in Robertson County. I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5.
Cuthbert, thank you. We're learning more about what led to the shooting and death of a Kentucky State Trooper. We now know Trooper Cameron Ponder pulled over Joseph Johnson Shanks for speeding on I-24 in Lyon County late Sunday night. 2 women and 2 children under the age of 6 were also in the car. None had valid driver's licenses. So Trooper Ponder reportedly told them he wasn't going to arrest them and instead would just find them a hotel room for the night. Instead, Johnson Shanks drove off, hitting speeds of 115 miles per hour. And then after a short chase, Shanks slammed on the brakes, causing Ponder's cruiser to crash into the back of the car. That's when Shanks opened fire, hitting and ultimately killing the trooper. Johnson Shanks then ran off and hid in nearby woods for several hours, and during that time, he reportedly posted a Snapchat video telling his loved ones goodbye.
I don't see anybody know who I love all y'all, man. I did something I ain't mean to. I'm regret it.
Johnson Shanks was later shot and killed after refusing to put his gun down. And his niece, Embria, was one of the women in the car during the stop and the chase. The 18-year-old is charged with hindering capture. We will continue to follow this story. We'll have the latest for you on newschannel5.com.
We now know the name of the man accused of violently stabbing his roommate in Madison. Metro police are telling us that Efrain Gonzalez stabbed the victim in the stomach during a fight at their apartment on East Palestine Avenue. The victim went to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but has been upgraded, we understand, and is doing a little bit better in stable condition now. Gonzalez, meantime, charged with attempted criminal homicide.
A home goes up in flames, leaving a woman trapped inside, and the Kentucky New Era snapped this photo from the scene on Mechanic Street in Hopkinsville. When crews arrived yesterday, flames were already shooting out the back of the home. A police captain injured his hand pulling the homeowner from the house. The woman needed medical treatment, but it's unclear the extent of her injuries. No word what sparked that blaze.
And also an investigation is underway after a suspicious fire at an apartment complex. Investigators believe that someone purposely torched a bedroom Sunday at the Tennessee Park Apartments in Murfreesboro. No word on how it actually started. Luckily, no one was hurt, but 3 people can't live there anymore because of the damage. If you know anything about this, call Crime Stoppers. They're in Rutherford County. Of course, their number is different. It's 615-893-STOP.
A controversial decision to close one of Nashville's largest tent cities becomes reality today. The 24 people who live behind the Adventure Science Center will be forced out sometime this morning. Crews will be removing tents and makeshift platforms, which will then be placed in storage until folks can find a more permanent home.
One community calling their fight over a controversial cell phone tower a win this morning. They're very happy with how it has turned out. Last night, St. Bethlehem United Methodist Church in Clarksville voted against leasing part of its land to Verizon. The phone company wanted to build a 100-foot tall tower, and that caused neighbors to say, "I don't think so." They put up signs and they circulated petitions, all in hopes of convincing the church leaders to say no, and it was a close vote. But church council voted against that tower last night, 4-3. Close vote. Apparently the petitions and all the neighbors saying no thank you paid off.